Well, good morning. Today is the 14th of October, 2020. This is Chris Paul with your Wellness Wednesday for the Intuitive Wellness Spa in Gambrels, Maryland. It has been about a month since I last checked in, and I apologize for that. It has been kind of a very full couple of weeks for me, and I just decided I was going to focus on some other things for a while and then I would check back in with you. You might recall that about 30 days ago is when I began the Arbonne 30 Days to Healthy Living Fall into Health Challenge. And I invited many of you to come along with me, and some have, and some didn't, but that's all right. So, what was my experience like? What did I have to do? So, I basically cut out of my life sugar, caffeine, alcohol, soy, corn, white potatoes, gluten. I think that's it. I can't recall, but that's about what I recall taking out of my diet. And I took some before and after pictures, which I would love to show you. I just haven't quite figured out how to do that. So, in terms of getting both of them up so you can see the before and after and so forth, what I can tell you is over the course of the 30 days, I lost 6.5 pounds, which was a little bit my goal, if I'm being truthful. I kept having this plateau that I couldn't get through in terms of my weight loss, and despite physical activity and more or less healthy eating, at least from my perspective. So this broke me through a plateau, and some of my pants are fitting a little bit better, which I'm excited about. My skin is good. I noticed that there were days, in case you're wondering, did I ever cheat? Yes, I did. This entire endeavor took place over the course of my significant other's birthday, and his one bit birthday wish was that I bake him this fabulous cake that I make, and it came out fabulous. And on his actual birthday, especially with COVID, there was no one else that we could have cake with. And so he didn't want to have birthday cake by himself. I had cake with him. Let's fess up. We do what we must do. I took a teeny piece. I am not going to lie to you. It was small. But what I did discover, I always knew I had a little bit of a sensitivity to sugar. I don't like things that are super sweet. And having not had sugar for probably about 2.5 to 3 weeks at that point, um, my belly hurt from it. And it was delicious, but I definitely paid for it. I was just very sort of sore and achy. Um, I think I had gluten once or twice in there. And I find I don't have celiac, I don't have anything of that nature, but I do find that my skin gets more irritated. My face gets a little more oily, and ironically, the rest of me feels itchy. Not so much dry skin, just itchy. And not like constant. I don't feel like I have chicken pox or anything, but just enough that I noticed that I wasn't having those symptoms when I wasn't. So, what does that mean moving forward? Am I going to become gluten free? Am I going to cut all sugar out of my life? No, probably not. I'm not that dedicated. I was so excited this morning to have a cup of Earl Grey tea and some fabulous cranberry walnut bread as toast. But what were some changes? So when I made the toast this morning, I didn't lather it with butter and I didn't lather it with peanut butter, but I did put a little bit of almond butter on it because I've discovered I really like almond butter. And it's a healthier nut butter than peanut butter, which is actually not a nut butter, so go figure. Um, I have found a lot of gluten-free snacks that I find really tasty. Some almond flour crackers that I found that I really like. And Costco had this other great, like everything bagel flavored gluten-free chip that I've really come to enjoy. And so I've just decided to make those subtle changes where I can and work them into my life. If I can go brown rice instead of white rice, I will. Um, and to just be kind to ourselves. I think that's really the biggest thing. So, my recommendation for folks is I would invest in a good blender if you can. Because if you can make a couple of batches of smoothies, I usually make enough smoothies. When I fill my blender, I get probably 2 or 3 big smoothies out of it. That's a much easier grab and go for me than if I'm gonna and healthier, and I feel better than if I grab some sort of junk food or have to eat on the go. I usually hard boil some eggs at the start of the week, and I have about 6 or 7, hard boiled eggs in the fridge. That's another great grab and go snack for me. Um, I'm just making some small changes where I can, and that's what I really sort of advise for you. Not everybody is going to have that life where we can go ahead and, chop up and prepare our entire meal. And I know people say, well, if you just do it for an hour or an hour and a half on Sunday, you'll save so much time during the week. I love that you think I have the hour and an hour and a half on Sunday. I don't. So I have to find things that are working within the system that we live in, which is I need to buy things that are just healthier. I need to have things that it's a minimal amount of effort for me to make. Um, I need things that are just a little bit easier and not terribly more expensive. I will say, best win that I got. We go to the Amish market for breakfast every Saturday morning, and I can't get almost anything on their menu on the cleanse. But I was able to go and get a fruit smoothie that was made with nothing but berries and ice. It was cheaper. I felt better. I was still full, and it was delicious. So it's sort of my new go-to. Um, so that's kind of the wrap up. Is the takeaway is I definitely did have more energy. I didn't miss a lot of the other things. I don't eat a lot of soy. I don't drink a lot of alcohol. I don't. I only have about 1 cup of tea a day anyway. So I didn't really have much struggles. I have decided 2020 is a tough enough year. So at this point, I think if I feel like having a bowl of spaghetti, I want to have a bowl of spaghetti. But I can go into it knowing what the consequences of that are going to be for my body, and not overindulge in that. For example, going back to the cake, I discovered that I actually just took, I mean, it's in my own house. I can do this, right? I just took a forkful of cake off of the actual cake plate. And that little bit of I wanted something sweet got satisfied for me, and I didn't have the upset stomach. So, in terms of Wellness Wednesday, that was my experience. I want to be real with you. I don't think all of these things are suddenly like you do them and you're like, it was so easy and I thought it was so great and I have this whole new lifestyle. I don't. I am going to make some subtle changes that made me feel better. And that is what I am suggesting for you. We could all stand to feel a little bit better. Life is throwing us some pretty big poop sandwiches. They're just sort of flying through the air. And so it'd be great if we could just find little things that we can do for ourselves to both feel in control and feel better. So I hope this was helpful for you. I will plan to be back in regular with our Wellness Wednesday updates. I thank you so much for checking in. We do have available appointments starting again next week. We're booked for this week, but we would love to be able to be a part of your wellness plan as well if you're in the Maryland area. So I hope you all are doing well. And if you have any other questions about the cleanse or about any of the Arbonne products that I used, please don't hesitate to reach out. Until then, have a great week and be well.